Morning, friends. Welcome back to Bush Poppy Farm. It's Heather, and I'm so happy to see you. It's been quite a week. We're having major house renovations, and so we're trying to move and pack. And I had 2 days of migraine, so it's been a rough week. But I want to finish the project that we started for the native pollinator bed. First, I need to attach this little bucket to the side of the chicken coop here so they can have grit. When I put grit in a bowl for them, they just step on it and dump it around and makes a mess. So I want to attach this to the side of the run so that they can't step in it and stuff, but they'll have access to it. So I'm gonna get that done, and then we'll go start working on the native pollinator strip. I have a very limited window to do this today. Also, the sweet potatoes slips arrived. They are soaking in water right now, and then we will get those planted either later today, but probably not, more like tomorrow. Today is mostly packing day. Our giant crate has arrived to start putting stuff in, so we're gonna have a lot of stuff to do that is not garden and farm related. So it makes for a less entertaining video, but it's life. All right, let me get this thing attached and pour some grit in. Grit, if you don't have chickens, there's lots of different brands. This just happens to be the one I could get easily. It's basically little tiny rocks, little tiny stones. And what it does is it lets the chickens process their food. Since they don't have teeth, they have gizzards, and these little stones sit in that gizzard and they act as their teeth. They grind the food down. So totally free-ranging flocks usually don't need grit because they can find it, in the soil and stuff. But when they're in a run like this, don't you dare peck that, Flo. When you're in a run like this, they don't have as much access to it. And they can get something called sour crop, which is when all the food sits in their crop and starts to decompose. It's disgusting, and it can make them very sick. So it's important to have grit for your chickens if they're not free range. All right, let me get this set up, and then we'll work on getting the natives planted. So obviously it's the next day. My little window that I had for getting the project done got eaten up trying to get that grit holder onto the chicken coop, and then we spent the rest of the day with the designer picking things out and packing the house. As you can see, the storage unit is here. So we've been trying to get everything boxed up and starting to get it loaded. But I'm taking some time this morning to finish these little projects because Number one, it's nice and cool. Number two, then I need to focus on packing the house for the rest of the day. So got this planted. We've got a grouping of 3 of the narrow leaf milkweed over here. We've got the monkey flower in the center, another grouping of 3 of the pink yarrow, and then we've got our buckwheat here. And so these guys are going to get about 3 feet tall. These guys get about 18 to 24 inches tall. This guy will just get huge, so that's why it's in the middle. And then these 2 get about 16 inches tall and about 12 inches wide. So I think that'll look really nice. And then I sprinkled that wildflower mix throughout, watered it deeply, and then covered it with straw and watered it deeply again. That straw will hold in the moisture and hopefully those seeds will germinate. Now I still need to address this mess over here. There are daffodils in here, but hardly any of them came up this year. So I'm not even going to really bother trying to excavate them out. I'm going to clean up the weeds. This is all California poppy, so I'm going to leave those guys there. And I'll add some soil and then just put a wildflower mix down, seeded, straw, water, let them germinate. Okay, so next job. The sweet potato slips arrived yesterday. I've got them in cups of water. I have 3 varieties because I got them from Peaceful Valley Farms, and it's a sweet potato variety mix, which is kind of fun. So there's a lot of them though, a lot of slips. So I have 2, 4, 6. I have 6 grow bags that are full of soil that I filled a while ago when we had the big thing of compost out here. I need to heavily wet them because they've been sitting out not getting irrigated and they're kind of hydrophobic. So I'm going to wet those down really deeply and then I'll start planting sweet potato slips. Now I will have more slips than I have space for. So I actually think, this is risky, I think I'm going to put some in the garlic bed after I harvest the garlic. Now the reason it's risky is there's still a bit of rust on this garlic and it's not ready to harvest yet. It still looks good, still green, harvested the scapes, but you can see the rust. And I did a lot of research. I've been spraying this with copper fungicide, which is slowing it down. Nothing in the research indicates whether or not this pathogen will affect sweet potatoes. I know it'll affect alliums, right? So I can't put any alliums here. And that's fine because it's not the season to plant those anyway. But the research doesn't really specify what else it might impact. So because I have so many sweet potato slips, I think I'm going to save a few out. I'll probably have to heal them in somewhere because this garlic's not ready to come out yet. And they can't just stay in that water for another 2 weeks. But I think I'm going to try to put some in here. If they die, they die. At least I have some in the grow bags, and I have another section here. So this area here was collards and cabbage and stuff like that. And as you can see, we've been eating it. There's just one plant left and it's not, we're not going to do anything with it. I'm going to give this to the chickens tomorrow. But this area is open, doesn't have anything in it other than this nigella. So I think I'll put a couple of slips in here as well. The only reason I don't like putting them in ground is that then I have to really tear up the ground when I harvest them. And these beds are permanent beds, and I kind of don't really want to do that, but I'm going to give it a shot. Okay, I also just noticed, I think it's time to harvest this guy. He's a little spiny, and something ate it right there, but that's all right. Ooh, prickly, prickly, prickly. Yeah, I have to cut that out and see if there's anything dangerous in there, but that actually might not even be worth saving because it's probably a rodent mark, and I don't think I want to eat anything that a rodent has snacked on. Then there's this little guy, but I think I'm going to let him go a little longer. Got some growing there. So it's nice to see some cucumbers. And these peppers actually look pretty decent. Those are black Hungarian. And then the beans that I sowed in here are already coming up. They do need water though. Okay, so the varieties of the sweet potatoes that I have. Okay, we've got 3 here. We've got Beauregard. What is this one? Murasaki and White Bonita. I've grown Beauregard before. It was doing well until rats got it when it was in ground last year, and they decimated all the greenery, and so the tubers didn't develop very much. So I'm hoping keeping them in these grow bags actually will protect them, and if I put them in the garlic raised bed, they'll have some protection too, but I'm still on the fence about that. If you know anything about garlic rust and whether it will affect sweet potatoes, please let me know. I'm not going to plant them in there just yet, so there's some time, but I don't want to waste the sweet potatoes, but I also don't want to waste the bed space, because at this point, all I was going to do is put lettuce in there with sunflowers in the front to shade the lettuce, because otherwise the lettuce bolts in our heat. And if I could put sweet potatoes in there, another long season crop, that would be great. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and deeply water these grow bags to kind of get them to accept water again, since they're really hydrophobic right now, and then we'll start planting. Okay, mission accomplished. Actually, I had just enough. I only had to put a few in different spots. So these 2 bags are white bonita. So I put 3 slips in each bag, so it'll be tight, but I think it'll be fine. The reason the cup is still there is I need to get a tag. Then over here we have 3 slips of Murasaki. And here we have 3 slips of Beauregard, except that orange bag only has 2 because it's a smaller bag. And so with the leftover 2 slips of Beauregard, I actually put them right there in the corner of the garlic bed. I pulled up this one just to see, and that's a pretty good size. So I think these guys are going to be ready pretty soon. I'm going to take this into the garage. This is a soft neck variety. It doesn't get scapes. So I'll take this into the garage and let it start curing. But I think in another week or 2, we're going to be in a good shape to harvest these guys, which will be great. So just 2 sweet potatoes there. I actually really need to add soil to this bed. It's dropped quite a bit, but they'll be protected from rats eating from underneath, and because this bed is lined with hardware cloth. And then I had 4 leftover Murasaki. I put 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there, and deeply watered them, so we'll see. But at least it's not a whole bed of sweet potato in ground. I don't really enjoy digging them from in-ground beds because it really disturbs the bed, so I'd rather not do that. Okay, update on the chickens. Our broody girl is no longer broody, and that's super, super good news. I'm so happy about that. So they're all together again, having fun, pecking and scratching and enjoying their lives. And I'm not worried about her. She's eating again. Yeah, it's all good. All right. Well, guys, I have a lot to do. A lot of farm stuff to do, but really I need to focus on getting the house packed. So that's going to be it for me today. Thank you for joining me. I know it's a short video, but I'll look forward to seeing you guys next week. I don't think I'll be filming tomorrow, which is Sunday. That's going to be a day of like literally packing everything up. We have to have all the rooms empty so that the carpet can be pulled up. And that's going to take all of our all of our work all day tomorrow. So thanks again for hanging out with me. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.